Hello and welcome to Just One More Watch. Welcome today to the review of a watch that is a little bit different. Not the dive watches that seem to be the mainstay of the micro brand industry at or around $300 US. This one is a flieger and it's made of bronze and it's yours on the wrist for just over $250 US. Sounds intriguing already, doesn't it? It's by Aquatico. Now, Aquatico are a brand that I have reviewed 4 or 5 of their pieces so far, I think. Indeed, they came up with the infamous mermaid riding a dolphin on the caseback. That one makes me laugh every time I think about it, to be honest. Now, their pieces have been, in the main, pretty good. Indeed, some of them have been frustratingly close to being very, very good, like their Seastar 300 Diver. And it's the same story with the Bronze Blue Angel today. A lot to like about this one. I mean, did you look at it? That is gorgeous. So what am I going to complain about then? Let's flip the camera and find out. So there is the dolphin. Unfortunately, no mermaid sitting astride it on the box, which is a bit of a disappointment. Now, before I get into the box, full disclosure, this watch was sent to me by Aquatico for free. I do not have to return it. In the description of the video, you'll find a link to the Aquatico website. You'll also find a discount code getting you $20 off the price of this Bronze Blue Angel or anything else you like on the Aquatico website. That takes it from $279 down to $259 US. That's the price that I'm going to consider it today. That's the price I'll be reviewing it. Now, I do like it. I think there's a lot to like. I think it's a very handsome watch. Ticks a lot of boxes, however I think it's not quite perfect. I think inside here there is a fantastic watch just screaming to get out if they ever do a Mark II. So I'm going to start with dimensions and specifications, then I'm going to tell you what I like about this Aquatico Bronze Blue Angels, then I'm going to tell you what I think they could improve upon if there is indeed a V2. So it's a pilot's watch, it's a flieger, traditional Type A flieger dial on there. I'll get a zoom in on that later on. Pilot's watches should always be a little bit larger. I made the mistake of buying a small pilot's watch a few years ago and it just didn't work at all. I think this one, they've got the dimensions just about spot on. 42.5mm in diameter, 12.5mm thick, 51.5mm lug tip to lug tip, so it does wear quite large. 22mm lug width, and on the supplied leather strap this one weighs in at 90 grams, so a decent amount of weight but not too much. The case and crown are made of proper CUSNA marine grade bronze. That means that this one will develop a kind of rich, ever-changing patina over time. I've encountered a few slightly cheaper models that offer aluminium bronze instead. It doesn't look as good, it doesn't look as rich, and it doesn't patina as well either. So make sure it's CUSNA. Stainless steel case back though, so it won't actually tarnish on your wrist, won't turn your wrist a kind of funny shade of green either. Good for those of us with allergies. Now the glass on here is a dead flat piece of sapphire. There is some anti-reflective coating on the underside of it. The strap is crazy horse leather apparently, stitched, unbranded, but it does have an Aquatico logo on the buckle. Case finishing is pretty simple, kind of satinised brushing throughout on this one. Doesn't have to be over the top on these bronze watches because, as discussed, they will tarnish, they will patina, and that's where the interest is. No need for Zaratsu polishing and a bunch of chamfered edges. It wouldn't make a difference in a month's time, I promise you. Very nice and grippy crown here, screw down crown, somewhere between a pumpkin and a rather squashed onion. Now the dial I think is very, very attractive. Classic Type A flieger, the big triangle there at 12 and 1 to 11 Arabics, nice and large. Now it is just a kind of embossed dial, it's printed, so not applied. They haven't overcluttered it either though. Aquatico automatic above the 6, that's it. Date frame there near the 3 o'clock and a 24-hour indicator somewhere between 10 and 11. Quite unusual. Great handset, sword hands, but they're brushed also with that kind of bronze colour and a little splash of orangey red on the tip of the second hand. Very nicely proportioned. I think the dial really, really attractive and tonally just gorgeous. It's got that kind of faux patinaed old radium style. I think that goes beautifully with a fresh piece of bronze and I think it will look great as this case and crown does patina and develop some character over time. There's a kind of mottled pattern, little dimpled pattern to the dial itself, adding some nice texture there also. Good job on the dial and handset, great looking I think. Caseback appears to be a carryover from the Blue Angels, the pilot's watch that I reviewed a while ago. Those are the Blue Angels. They are a formation flight team in full effect on the Caseback. Pretty simple, screw down Caseback, screw down crown, and these are all individually numbered. This is number 237 out of only 300. 300 also is the number of meters that this watch is water resistant. I will talk about that a little later on as well. Can't really complain about it too much though, can I? Now, underneath that Caseback is a Seiko NH37. First time I've ever encountered one of these. So the NH37, no prizes for guessing, is a variant of the ubiquitous Seiko NH35 automatic that powers the mainstay of the micro brand community under $500 US. This one features a 24-hour complication up there at the 1030. It's a 24 dual movement, hacks, it hand winds, roughly 40-hour power reserve. Now Seiko give themselves a pretty loose envelope of operation, stating tolerances between -20 seconds per day plus 40 seconds per day. Most of the Seiko movements that I've had in the house come in within 10 seconds either side of spot on. This one looks like a cracker, plus 2 seconds a day, very healthy amplitude, minimal beat error. There's a reason why these movements are everywhere. And the lume is pretty good, C3 Superluminova, plenty of it on the dial itself, those Arabics and markers, plenty on the hands. The hands do hang on better than the dial, but overall, considering it's not a dive watch, I think the lume does pretty well for the money. So, well priced, well spec'd, very, very handsome, decent lume, and pretty accurate from that Seiko NH37 movement. I think a lot to like so far about this Aquatico Bronze Blue Angel. What am I going to complain about then? What do I think they could improve upon if they ever do a V2? Well, the date. I'd either delete it or I'd colour match the date wheel at minimum. I think that looks a little bit brutal there, hacked into the dial near the 3 o'clock with a white date window. It wouldn't take too much effort, I think, to improve that considerably. It seems a bit odd to complain about this watch being over-spec'd, but 300 meters of water resistance from Pilot's watch, I'm not really sure if I believe that, and it's a bit excessive anyway. Screw down crown, 100 meters would be fine to be honest. I can't see people diving with this. I'm not sure why they bothered putting extra seals in the back of it if indeed they're there. And the Crazy Horse leather strap. It is not particularly crazy, nor is it made of horse. Tell you what though, a decent Horween one on here would make all of the difference. This is a bit plasticky if I'm being honest, and unbranded. The buckle's quite nice, perhaps a little large, but I think it is in proportion with the case of the watch overall. But I would have preferred to see a little less water resistance and a little more money spent on the strap. I think it would have been a better watch overall for that. And it does wear quite big and quite flat on my 7-inch wrist. As you can see there, quite a protruding Caseback. If they trimmed a mil off that and just added a bit of curvature to the lugs, I think it would wear much, much better than it currently does. It's not a disaster, but I wouldn't recommend it if you've got small wrists. I think if you're a big guy with big wrists, you'll get on very, very well with this one. But for the average Joe, I think a bit of curvature to those lugs and a mil off the Caseback, and it would wear much better than it currently does. So where does that leave us on balance then? Well, I still think there is quite a lot to like about this Aquatico. There aren't all that many bronze watches for less than $300, let's be honest, and it's quite rare to find a Type A flieger in bronze at the price. And it's a looker, I reckon, in black, perhaps the green dial. This is a bit of a killer. It really does look quite flash on wrist. If you're a bigger guy, if you've got a bigger wrist and you don't mind that date wheel, perhaps you've got some 22mm straps in the house, you can ditch this not particularly Crazy Horse one. I think this watch would look great. In fact, there is the watch on a piece of actual horse, a Horween that I poached off of a Zelos, and it just adds another textural element. Much better, I think, than the rather plasticky one that was provided. Maybe I'm being a little bit harsh here. I just think that Aquatico come pretty close to making fantastic watches, but they don't quite get there. A bit more attention to detail, a bit more thought when it comes to distributing where they put their dollars, and this one could be a belter. So there you have it, the Aquatico Bronze Blue Angel. Why didn't they call it the Bronze Angel? I've no idea. A watch that again comes frustratingly close to being exceptional. And I think if they ever do a version 2, there is certainly the base ingredients here to make a fantastic very attractive and wearable, relatively economical flieger. If they ditched the date, it would clean up the dial enormously. And if they got rid of the rather unnecessarily high waterproof rating, maybe spent a bit of that money on a decent strap, I think for 260 bucks, this would be an absolute cracker. As it is, it's still a pretty good watch though, if you do need the functionality that comes with a date complication. Thanks for watching, see you next time.